Okay everyone, so right now you're looking at my 29-gallon Hillstream aquarium. Now before I get too far in this video, I do want to announce that this is the 70th episode of Amazing Fish. That's right, 70 different episodes of freshwater and saltwater fish that I think are amazing. So make sure you check out the playlist and watch them all. But yeah, today's Amazing Fish is one of my favorite, and that is the Reticulated Hillstream Loach. So yeah, this is a 29-gallon Hillstream aquarium. This tank was specifically built to be the perfect house for my Hillstream Loaches, and I think it's doing a good job at being that perfect house. So all the fish in this tank originate from Asia. I have some white cloud minnow living in this aquarium. I also have a dwarf neon goby, which I believe is a female. And then I have Malaysian trumpet snails, which are kind of taking over the entire tank. I have about 100 of them. And of course, the main star of the aquarium, my Hillstream Loaches. I have 4 adults, and now I have about 12 juveniles running around. So it's definitely an awesome aquarium, and it's doing its job being the perfect home for my Hillstream Loaches. So one of the main things I love about Hillstream Loaches is the way they look. They definitely are some awesome looking fish. I stated before in a different video that they look a little bit like miniature stingrays. Stingrays have that rounded body with the pointy tails, and they definitely look pretty similar. I've always wanted to keep stingrays, however I wasn't because they are some big fish and I haven't been able to keep a tank large enough for them. But these definitely are a good look-alike, and a plus is that these don't pose a threat of killing you because they don't have poisonous stingers, so that's awesome. But yeah, I love the appearance of these stingrays. So these right here are some juveniles. They're not fully colored up and they don't really have the full shape. My parents are being a little bit rebellious. They see me with the camera and they're refusing to come out. Right before I started this video, they were all in my face, and now they're in the cracks watching me. But the parents have a very decent shape. They have a nice round body. They have a yellowish to greenish body color, and then they have the black streaks across their body, and just a well decorated fish, very beautiful. I have 2 of these guys right here and 2 right there. And when I say guys, I'm not talking about guys because I do have a pair, because obviously I have a lot of fry. But yeah, that's a look at them. That's one of the main reasons why I love them, because they look awesome. On top of that, these are algae eaters that are very active. They spend the majority of their out and about. Right now they're hiding because I have the camera and I'm like 3 inches away from the glass. But when I'm not this close, they are active and they do spend a lot of time moving around, and I actually get to see these fish. You know, you got other algae eaters like plecos and stuff like that that really hide a lot. This is definitely not the case with the Hillstream Loaches. I can always come and catch one. Right there, the juvenile. I have 2 more that was up here. But yeah, I can always come randomly and look at this tank and find a Hillstream Loach. So that's the second reason why I love them. They look awesome, and they definitely do a good job at sporting that awesome color and behavior and look. So yeah, that's why I love the Hillstream Loaches. So when it comes to keeping fish in general, I think you're doing a good job when your fish is eating and looking healthy. And I think you're doing an awesome job when you get your fish to breed. And my Hillstream Loaches have bred. So I'm going to say I'm doing an awesome job at keeping these fish. And now I want to share with you guys what I did to have success with breeding them and keeping them alive. So the first thing you got to know about Hillstream Loaches is that they are Asian, and they come from, well, I guess you don't really have to know that they're Asian, but they come from hillstreams and fast-flowing rivers. And the main thing that you get from fast-flowing rivers is a lot of oxygen. So these fish definitely need their oxygen. They love it, they need it, and without it, they can potentially die. The way I did that was by taking a circulation pump and pointing it towards the surface to get as much circulation as I could, and it was doing a good job. Now some people take big pumps and just let it blow across. That's good, but this tank is so small I didn't want to just have them blown completely away, because you know sometimes fish like to take breaks. Sometimes they don't always want to be in a fast current. So instead of having a strong flow, this is kind of like if they want strong flow, they just come higher and they can spend the majority of the day lower where the flow isn't too bad. But yeah, the main thing about these Hillstream Loaches is that they need their oxygen, so provide surface agitation, and that pretty much does a good job keeping their tank well oxygenated. That's the number one thing about Hillstream Loaches. They come from fast flowing streams and rivers, and they need a lot of oxygen. The next thing is that these fish are subtropical, meaning that they really don't need temperatures, or they don't like temperatures to be as warm as other tropical fish. Here's one of my adults. He just got spooked out by the other one. But yeah, look how cool they look. Awesome looking fish. But yeah, these fish are subtropical, so the coolest that they're willing to go is about 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and the warmest is about 72. You definitely want to keep it between there. The way I do it is by simply taking out the heater My fish room, the room itself, stays at about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's pretty comfortable for these fish. Of course, it's comfortable because they've bred, and when a fish breeds, you gotta know they're happy. After that, these fish are primarily algae eaters. They only eat algae, I should say, and they are peculiar when it comes to different types of algae. Most algae eaters will accept those little algae wafers. From my experience, these will not accept those algae wafers. They want natural algae, and I'm having tons of success with algae in this aquarium. So for a light, I have the Nicro LED light. This light was super cheap on Amazon. I'm not sure if it's cheap anymore because that's when it first came out, but this light is awesome. Phone call. Let me skip this. But yeah, this light is awesome. This light is growing all different types of algae. So if you look on the glass, I have a nice little brown algae, which I think is the most, that's what they eat the most. After that, I have some purple and dark brown algae on this rock. And then, to my surprise, I'm actually able to grow green hair algae, which is kind of hard. I can only grow green hair algae in my pond with the power of the sun. So that goes to show that this definitely is a strong light. I keep it on for about 9 to 10 hours a day, and it provides a decent amount of algae. And if you saw my last video about my dwarf pea puffers, I said that I have somewhat of a self-sustaining ecosystem because they eat Malaysian trumpet snails and Malaysian trumpet snails. Just like in this tank, the Malaysian trumpet snails breed like crazy, and so my puffers always have something to eat. And that's somewhat a similar situation in this tank. My Hillstream loaches eat algae. These lights produce a ton of algae. So if I wanted to, if it wasn't for these white cloud minnows, I wouldn't have to feed this aquarium. These fish will eat the algae, and I really wouldn't have to do anything else but keep these lights on, and it will be a self-sustaining ecosystem. So that's pretty awesome. So those are the three main things when keeping Hillstream loaches. 1, they need their oxygen. 2, the water can't be too warm. And 3, they need algae. And the last thing for successful Hillstream loaches is with your aquascape. You want to create an aquascape that resembles a river. If you ever go to a river or a stream, you'll see tons of rocks, different hiding spaces. And I think that's the main reason why I have success with breeding these fish. The parents are able to go into the deep crevices and have their fry. They lay their eggs without any threat of their eggs being eaten. And the fry, if the parents ever turned on them, which is a rare situation, or if these white cloud minnows went rogue and tried to eat them, they have tons of cracks and crannies that are just so narrow, so thin, no fish can fit in there. So yeah, that's how I had success with my Hillstream loaches. These are, once again, one of my favorite fish because they look so awesome. I wish they were out more, but right now they're being a little bit spiteful. They see me with the camera, so they're not trying to come out. But you see tons of fry in this aquarium. Eventually, I do want to upgrade this tank. Probably introduce some different species of Hillstream loaches. Probably get like a 4-footer. But for now, this is how I'm going, and it's awesome. So YouTube, if you have any questions about the Hillstream loach, let me know. These fish are cool fish. Once again, they look awesome. They are awesome. And that's been another episode, the 70th episode of Amazing Fish. See you next time.